A flashback opens to a scene of absolute chaos. Smoke and fire billow everywhere, and before our eyes, thousands of grotesque, mutated entities are writhing on the damp ground. Yet, amidst this pandemonium, a young man stood frozen like a statue, drenched in sweat. His voice cried out in despair. "It's ruined. Hurry, I need to add more sugar. This coffee is bitter as hell." Immediately after, he calmly turned and went back inside, as if the scene outside was a peaceful park and not a horrifying apocalypse. He casually sat down at his desk and dove into a game with his addicted friends. The whole group was screaming and shouting as they played, their laughter mixed with curses echoing through the room. One of them suddenly shouted mid-game, "Hey guys, I just saw the news. Humanity's been wiped out and turned into mutants. What the hell? What does that mean? They've all gone crazy and mutated. Whatever, don't worry about it. It's probably just a phase." Suddenly, a growl was heard right next to him. "What the? Why are you biting me? Help! Help! Stop biting me. Let the marksman hit the tower. You damn mutant. What are you guys freaking out about? Are you all elementary school kids trying to destroy a tower? Can't you escape your parents' grasp?" "Such a pain," our young man muttered, calmly sipping his still hot, half-roasted coffee amidst the chaos. He didn't forget to turn and remind his teammate with a smirk. "Your girlfriend is right next to you, isn't she? Watch out, she might bite you." The guy on the other end immediately started panting. His voice panicked. "Bro, how did you know that? Are you a prophet or something? Wow, you even guessed this." "Yeah, she's actually biting me right now." He looked down at his thigh, his eyes wide with horror. "Baby, why'd you stop? Keep going." But to his shock, she had already mutated. Suddenly, she stuck out 3 tongues covered in terrifying sharp barbs. He turned pale with fear, his heart feeling like it would burst. "What do you want?" The monster immediately chomped down on his sensitive area, clenching tight. "Let go, you demon. Let go." But even in excruciating pain, he didn't forget his duty as a gamer. "Prophet, hurry up and push the tower." "Don't worry, I'm on it. This is a guaranteed win." It seemed like behind those words was a desperate message. "Hurry up and save my pathetic life, you bastard." And so, after a few minutes of intense struggle against the enemy team, he finally completed his sacred mission. "Nice, you didn't let the team down. We won. Victory is ours again." Suddenly, a desperate cry for help came from outside the door. The voice cried out in desperation, "Lin Fan, it's me, Liu Weiwei, your neighbor. Please open the door." Lin Fan reluctantly dragged himself to the door, a look of boredom on his face. "What is it?" The girl immediately looked terrified, her eyes glistening with tears. "There's a bunch of crazy people outside. They're biting everyone they see. I dropped my keys while running away. Can I hide at your place for a bit? You'll help me, right?" When Lin Fan remained silent, she switched to a cloyingly sweet, coquettish tone. "Big brother, I can help you, but you have to agree to one thing for me. For now, just close your eyes." Wei Wei obediently listened, shutting her eyes tightly, confidently puffing out her chest to show off her seductive curves and puckering her inviting lips. "Thank you, Lin Fan. You're so kind. I knew you'd definitely help me. As long as you help me, I'll do anything you say." Then suddenly, instead of embracing the beauty, Lin Fan coldly swung a knife. He gave her a few permanent tattoos on her pristine neck, then explained casually, his voice completely unfazed. "There, I helped you. Now you won't turn into a man-eating mutant." Just then, the system's cold notification rang out. Eliminated 1 potential mutant. Plus 1 point. Without hesitation, Lin Fan ignored Wei Wei's corpse and slammed the door shut. The reason for his callous, indifferent actions stemmed from a bloody lesson learned from the future. "My name is Lin Fan. I'm not some prophet, just an ordinary, introverted interior architect who lives alone. My life had been passing by peacefully until an hour ago, when everything changed. Out of kindness, I took in my beautiful neighbor who was in trouble, but who would have thought she'd suddenly mutate and bite me to death? The moment I died, a system appeared. Apocalyptic mutant survival system connection successful. And then, I was reborn." He checked the system panel, and the information immediately appeared clearly. Name, Lin Fan. Strength, 10, plus 1. Physique, 10. Speed, 10. He thought to himself, a glint in his eye, plus 1 point. "Ah, so this is the system's effect? Killing mutants gives you points." With that thought, he casually stepped outside and saw Wei Wei's corpse being happily gnawed on by another mutant. He calmly sized it up like a juicy piece of prey, his eyes glittering with greed. Before the monster could even spot the living bait, Lin Fan swiftly swung the kitchen knife and lopped its head off, his face still completely unfazed. "We're all neighbors here, no need to be so tense. I just wanted to confirm how to get points." At the same time, the system panel appeared again. Eliminated 1 mutant. Received plus 1 point. He looked down at the corpse on the ground, lost in thought. Considering how intact she is, she'll definitely attract more of them. The mutants arrive. After all, we're all neighbors. I can't just leave her all alone like that. But I have to protect myself first. Same old plan. I'll hide behind the door and open it occasionally to check on her, to protect her. Yes. And so, a moment later, even the system was fed up with this guy. Killing mutants earns points. Killing mutants earns points. Because the young man had been grinding relentlessly for hours without rest, completely exhausted. But Vi, don't you worry. It's a noble tradition for neighbors to help each other. I absolutely will not abandon you. Then, he returned to his original spot and was suddenly startled. Huh, where's Vi? Wait a minute, don't tell me she's been wiped out? This seems a bit out of my control. He then spun around to look at the battlefield, with dozens of mutant corpses piled up. He grimaced. Piled up like this, they're sure to give the common hallway a wonderfully fragrant aroma. As the owner here, I have to clean this up. No sooner said than done. He fumbled around for a rope to tie them all together, then scurried off to find a post to anchor them securely. Just in case they got mischievous, struggled, and ran off. When suddenly, Lin Fan noticed something extremely strange in this dark hallway. Abruptly, the giant shadow of a person in a wheelchair was slowly rolling towards him. Even more terrifying, it was accompanied by hundreds of bulging, writhing eyes on its back, a grotesquely horrifying sight. As his curiosity flared up, Lin Fan couldn't help but run over to get a better look at the person before him. He made a horrifying discovery. Then, without a hint of hesitation, he gave the guy a super stylish mohawk, along with a heartfelt inquiry. Uncle Zhang, don't you live on the second floor? How did you manage to climb all the way up to the 7th? Don't tell me you came all this way just to give me your wheelchair. He then cheerfully piled his mutant spoils onto the wheelchair and considerately pushed them elsewhere. With a radiant face, he thought, I was just worrying about how to drag these things away without wasting so much energy. Uncle Zhang is such a good person. Don't worry, I'll return it to you as soon as I'm done. With that, he happily pushed this special cart out into the courtyard in the dead of night, then carefully left the wheelchair next to room 203 for Uncle Zhang before burying all the mutants in the trash bin. He couldn't help but ponder some philosophical questions about life. Is this really the apocalypse? Although he was still a bit bewildered and couldn't quite believe it. If he wanted to keep breathing, he definitely had to go gather more supplies. But then again, I have to ask, are these things classified as wet waste or recyclable waste? Living alone really has its downsides. There's no one to help me answer these tough questions. As he was spacing out, pondering these grand, nonsensical matters, he suddenly heard a knocking sound from the floor above, calling his name. Out of reflex, Lin Fan whipped his head around and saw that it was a bald guy. With a face so familiar, it was sickening. It was him, Uncle Chu's drug addict's son. A quick glance at his face and skinny frame clearly showed he was gaunt and starved, the very picture of a good-for-nothing junkie. He then instinctively remembered the time that guy had beaten him up so badly he was left covered in mud, lying flat on the ground. He used to bully me, stole my bicycle, and when he got caught, I reported him to the police. Although he returned the bike, the very next day he ambushed me and beat me up. Back in the present, Lin Fan spoke in an icy voice, his sharp gaze fixed on the man opposite him. What is it? The other guy's jaw dropped, his expression one of utter shock and disbelief. Holy crap, this idiot dares to speak? Isn't he afraid of attracting mutants? Then he let out a sinister laugh. His smile twisted with malicious intent. But it's better if he's this stupid. I'm about to starve to death. Perfect timing to use him to risk his neck for me. He then hastily scribbled on a paper board, holding it up high and giving Lin Fan a clear, decisive order. Go find some food and drinks. Bring them to my door. The action made Lin Fan's annoyance clear on his face. His attitude is stark contrast to the timid personality the guy had been so used to bullying. Why should I? I won't do it. Hearing such a sharp refusal from the kid he'd always seen as a coward, he instinctively snapped back. Then he calmed himself down, trying to stay cool. Idiots like this are easy to fool. He wiped the board clean and wrote another message, holding it up for Lin Fan to read. Do as I say, and I'll let you stay with me. When the chance comes, I'll get you out of here. I know a secret base. However, Lin Fan still resolutely shook his head, refusing. He stood his ground, his deliberately provocative posture making the other guy's blood boil. I'm not doing it. That act made the veins on the guy's forehead pop. He was so angry his hair was about to grow back. I can't believe this kid is so stubborn and ungrateful. Well then, don't blame me for being cruel. Cutting off his train of thought, he stormed back into his apartment in a rage, hastily grabbing plates, bowls, and pots and pans, then hurled them straight at Lin Fan's face with a crazed scream. Fine, if you want to die so badly, I'll grant you your wish. The items scattered across the ground, creating a piercing clang that successfully attracted the nearby mutants. Hearing the commotion, they swarmed towards Lin Fan. It was truly a clever move from the junkie. Seeing this, he burst out laughing with sadistic glee, taunting him with vicious words. Weren't you so high and mighty just a moment ago? What's wrong? Scared, stiff now. Are your legs so weak you can't even run away? However, completely contrary to the addict's expectations, Lin Fan didn't even bother to move. He stood rooted to the spot, casually toying with the mutants right in front of the guy. Killing one mutant earns 1 point, and it was a good way to assert his dominance and position at the same time. That move left the addict dumbfounded, his jaw hanging open in utter disbelief. Holy crap, this kid is that good? Then his expression shifted to crazed excitement, and he started laughing like a maniac, cursing Lin Fan relentlessly. I'll admit, you've got some skills. But so what? There's still one more mutant. What's the matter? Too slow to react. An idiot who dares to defy me deserves to die. Die, die, his barking echoed. But Lin Fan just gave a cold, half smile. Then, he casually grabbed a mutant that was still yawning sleepily. That's right, isn't it? There's still one left. He then cheerfully lifted it up and threw it straight at the guy. A gift for you. In the split second before the mutant slammed into the addict's face, he had no time to react, frozen on the spot. He mumbled a few empty words, as if they could somehow save the situation. Whoa, what are you trying to do? On instinct, the addict caught the mutant, holding it like a sleeping princess. Then, helpless, he let it rip him to shreds. After enjoying the entertaining show, Lin Fan calmly left on his old bicycle. He didn't forget to throw in one last sarcastic remark. If you have any questions, just ask it. You wouldn't want to be like me, with not a single friend to answer them for you. And so, a little later at the rundown Ix supermarket, Lin Fan leisurely cleared out the remaining mutants in the store. Killing a mutant gets you 1 point. Afterwards, he nonchalantly gathered his supplies and went to the checkout counter with the owner, who had also turned into a monster. Boss, I'll take all of this. Ring me up. After everything was settled, Lin Fan returned to his beat-up bicycle. He thought to himself, these supplies should be enough to last me a while. Plus, I even bought some seeds. Later, I'll find a suitable place to plant them. That way, I can gradually become self-sufficient. Then he took the chipped kitchen knife in his hand, giving it a quick once-over. But I'll probably still need to find a few better weapons. Just a kitchen knife is a bit lame. Suddenly, the familiar sound of an engine starting up echoed clearly in Lin Fan's mind. Curious, he glanced toward the source of the sound, wondering, where did that bus come from? At the same time, on the bus, a group of people were speeding away, running for their lives from the mutants chasing relentlessly after them. The sound of the engine had already attracted 7 mutants. The sound of the bus grew louder and louder as it hurtled straight toward Lin Fan, leaving him no way to dodge. He could only stand there and brace for impact, because that sound reminded him of an unforgettable, hellish scene from his childhood involving his evil stepmother. She was always scheming to get his father to throw him out of the house. That bitch is dead now. When are you finally going to get rid of this thing for me? Just looking at him pisses me off. And yet, his father chose to abandon his own son, obediently listening to every word that Shrew said. Soon, I'm looking for someone to adopt him now. That answer sent her into a screaming rage. Soon? When is soon going to be? Do you even care about this? They left Lin Fan cowering in the back seat, clutching a teddy bear and sobbing. He could only cry for help silently in despair. Mommy, when are you coming back? Daddy and Auntie don't want me anymore. Mommy, please come save Fan Fan. Fan Fan is so scared. Hearing the child's piercing cries, the woman turned around annoyed and started shouting, her words a form of mental abuse. What are you crying for? You little brat, are you itching for trouble again? You want me to beat you to death? Then, frustrated, she grabbed the steering wheel from the father. So annoying. Stop the car. He immediately pulled over and stopped. I'll teach this brat a lesson right now. This action caught the father completely off guard. Hey, honey, don't touch the steering wheel. It's dangerous. But because of that woman's one foolish act, a person who speaks before she thinks, she had yanked the wheel, sending them head-on into the truck right in front of them. The horrific accident wiped out everyone in the front seats, leaving only him in the back, lucky enough to have survived to this day. Returning to the present, a guy on the bus looked down and offered a seemingly kind invitation. Hey, idiot, you want to ride? However, a second later, he followed it up with a nasty taunt. But hey, if I don't give you a lift, you can just stay there and wait for those mutants to rip your guts out. With that, he burst out laughing, ignoring Lin Fan, who remained motionless, his hand gripping a chipped, bloody knife, showing no reaction whatsoever. Seeing this, a young man with glasses quickly leaned forward and asked the guy, Boss Huang, are we really not going to let him on the bus? He's going to be killed by the mutants we lured here. Then he started rambling about the teacher's lessons. The teacher said, we have to help. But before he could finish his sentence, the guy named Huang silenced him by plunging a dagger straight into his throat. Teacher? What teacher? It's the end of the world. I'll do whatever I want. A four-eyed bookworm like you dares to lecture me? Then, annoyed, he shoved the guy off the bus, even though they were once classmates. I've been sick of the sight of you for a long time. All you smart kids are just the teacher's lapdogs. Now that you don't have the teacher to back you up, doesn't that just mean it's my turn to walk all over you? At this, Huang suddenly scoffed, finding it ridiculous. You're that kind-hearted, are you? In that case, I'll be merciful and send you down to reunite with him. With that, he slammed on the gas and sped off, leaving his dying classmate flattened on the road. Still, Huang didn't forget to glance back at Lin Fan through the window. This idiot even brought a kitchen knife with him. Does he really plan on taking on that entire horde of mutants by himself? The thought made him burst out laughing. Hopelessly stupid. Although a few minutes had passed, Lin Fan was still stuck on the second thing that Guy Huang had just spat at him. Die? I'm not going to die. Suddenly, memories of his deceased mother flooded his mind, her gentle, heartwarmingly kind image. She was smiling brightly, her hand gently stroking his hair. Be good now. When our Fan becomes a brave, bright, and kind adult, Mom will appear before you again. A sudden rage erupted like hellfire. He furiously raised the chipped knife to the sky. I made a promise to my mother. I will definitely become that kind of person. Immediately, he threw the knife with all his might toward the speeding bus. Unexpectedly, thanks to Lin Fan's innate talent, the chipped blade sank deep into the tire of Huang's bus. This left the bully watching helplessly as the vehicle lost control and slammed head-on into a nearby signpost. The horrific crash flipped the bus over, pinning Huang underneath, with no way to struggle free. It hurts so much. Somebody help me. I don't want to die, he whimpered, begging desperately for help. Lin Fan calmly pedaled his old bicycle closer. The pathetic Huang reached out a hand, pleading in desperation. I was wrong. I was wrong. I truly know I was wrong now. I'm sorry. Please save me. Completely contrary to his expectation of forgiveness, Lin Fan simply looked down, his eyes filled with pity, offering words of comfort from the bottom of his heart, a bitterly sarcastic version. That is, no, you don't know you were wrong. You just know you're about to die. You're simply afraid. At this, he gave a soft, amused smile. That's right. Look, your friend has come to find you. I'll be on my way now. I won't disturb you too while you reminisce. Those words made Huang scream in panic. What the hell are you talking about? In a situation like this, what friend would come looking for me? As Lin Fan's figure faded into the distance, Huang returned to his initial state of terror, continuing his hopeless pleas. Hey, wait, come back, save me, don't. But then, unexpectedly, the student with the glasses managed to drag himself over. He leaned down close, breathing a cold, affectionate breath onto Huang's face. In just a moment, Huang was swarmed by the horde of mutants and torn to shreds. Meanwhile, after cycling for a bit, Lin Fan stopped to check the personal information panel that had appeared in his system. Strength 35, superhuman. Stamina 10, standard. Speed 10, standard. Points 0. Just then, a voice called out from an apartment building above, directed at him. Hey, young man. Please wait a moment. The woman couldn't believe that just a few days after the world had fallen apart, someone still dared to leisurely stroll down the street below. The intersection over there is crawling with mutants. How is this guy going to get past them? Then she thought of something more urgent, but decided it wasn't important. The most important thing was that upon hearing the call, he reflexively looked up and asked, Is something wrong? Then his gaze fell on the little girl standing next to the woman, and he thought to himself, There's a child, too. She looks like she's starving. A moment later, after she called him up, Lin Fan went straight upstairs to meet her without hesitation. The moment the woman opened the door, she dropped to her knees before him, begging earnestly. Young man, I know this might be too much to ask, but please, I'm begging you, can you spare me a little food? There's nothing left to eat in the house. My husband is dead. I really don't have any other choice. I don't need much, just a little bit, so my daughter can have something to eat. Without a moment's hesitation, he pulled out some vegetables he had just picked from his backpack. All right then, I'll sell you 2 pumpkins and 1 winter melon. That answer left the woman completely stunned. Huh? She was utterly bewildered by this man. Sell. Sell them to me? Although she was grateful that he was willing to share food, what was the point of money in the apocalypse? Never mind. Sir, if she wanted it, she could just give it to him. While handing her the items, Lin Fan suddenly glanced inside the house and was surprised to see a valuable item right before his eyes. He immediately hesitated and asked the homeowner, Wait a minute. Seeing this, she didn't hesitate to step forward and take it down for him to see. Oh, this is something my husband bought a long time ago. He really loved gaming, so he bought this replica. If you like it, I'll give it to you. It's so dangerous outside now, you could use a weapon for self-defense. Though her mouth said one thing, her hand couldn't help but tighten its grip. Lin Fan immediately reached out to take it. Oh, how could I possibly accept this? His feigned politeness made her force a smile, despite her reluctance. It's okay. My daughter and I have no use for it anyway. Just take it. You need it more than we do. And so, he happily left, not forgetting to give her a little extra reassurance for the great deal he just got. Well, thank you then. I'll be going now. You and your daughter stay safe. Don't worry, I won't take your things without giving something in return. If anything happens, just call me. I'm always available. This bizarre exchange made the daughter unable to resist commenting, "Mom, isn't that guy a little strange?" Hearing this, her mother replied, completely dumbfounded, "No, he's probably not a little strange. He's very strange." After leaving the apartment building, he happily admired the sword, swinging it in his hand with excitement. This is a replica of the legendary Sorrow of the Frost Mist. I saw it on a website before. I've wanted one of these for so long. Using this to slice up mutants is going to feel amazing. But suddenly, a blood-curdling scream echoed from behind him. It came with a woman in a nightgown, free-falling from a great height. "You bitch, die." She landed with a sickening thud right in front of him, her body covered in wounds. The horrific fall had shattered her limbs. Lin Fan could only stare, wide-eyed. At that moment, the fat man from the high-rise floor yelled down, "That rotten little heifer. I spent so much time teaching her a lesson, and she still dared to fight back." He puffed on his cigarette, feigning regret. "What a pity. Who knows when I'll find another high-quality piece like this again." At the same time, down below, Lin Fan remained motionless. He observed the woman's body and couldn't help but sigh. Her entire body was covered in injuries. She must have been brutally tortured while she was alive. Moreover, the despair, rage, and helplessness in her eyes were exactly like the look his mother gave his father when she left. She died with a look of pure injustice, her mouth agape and her eyes wide open, looking utterly tragic. At that, Lin Fan couldn't take it anymore. He looked up towards the apartment from which the woman had just fallen. "This is really pissing me off. Why would you do that?" His action caught the man's attention, who immediately looked down, shocked by Lin Fan's audacity. "Holy crap, there's still someone daring to go outside? Aren't there any mutants down there? All right then." He then screamed down in alarm, asserting his dominance for Lin Fan to hear. "Who the hell are you? You're not a resident of this building. This building is my territory. The women in here are mine to do with as I please. What are you going to do about it?" Hearing this made him worry about the other mother and daughter. He put away the sword he was admiring and knelt beside the woman's corpse. "I have to do something, or the mother and daughter living in this building will be in danger too. The 5th floor." And with that, he scooped her up into his arms. He walked while counting each floor, searching for the place where that disgusting bald man was. His bizarre action made the man burst into a contemptuous laugh. He even thought Lin Fan was sicker than he was. What's this idiot doing carrying a corpse? Does he want to take it home and defile it? But what a shame. A corpse that can't even squirm is worse than a lifeless doll. What a sicko. He then furiously screamed down, threatening him. "You better get lost before I really get pissed off, or I'll deal with you myself." With that, he went back into his room, stubbed out his cigarette, then cracked open another beer, muttering nonstop. "What rotten luck. It's the end of the world, and I still have to run into this kind of moron." Thinking this, he couldn't be bothered to care anymore. He was busy with the task of finding a new toy for himself. Whatever. I'll just go find some new goods in the building later to blow off some steam. The world had only been in chaos for a few days, but his attitude had already changed so drastically, treating women like trash to be trampled on at will. Before, I could only look at these women but never dared to touch them. But now that the apocalypse is here, I can do whatever the hell I want. This feeling of doing whatever I want. It's incredible. As he was lost in his plans, a loud, pounding noise suddenly came from his front door. Although a bit scared, he tried to maintain his status as the master of this apartment building. He grabbed a baseball bat and approached the door. He shouted, "Who's knocking? Is it a mutant?" He trembled, his shaking hands bringing his eye to the round peephole on the door. If there are still mutants wandering the hallway, this won't be easy. Where am I going to find new goods to satisfy my desires then? But to his utter shock, he recoiled in horror when he recognized the figure, standing outside the door, as the very woman he had just thrown to the ground moments ago. She was staring wide-eyed right through the peephole, her face pale and haggard, as if her vengeful spirit had returned to settle the score. The sight nearly gave him a heart attack. That horrifying sight scared him so badly he fell flat on the floor, stammering uncontrollably. Holy crap, this is. It turns out this was all a trick by Lin Fan. He had carried her all the way up to the 5th floor and knocked on the door. "I know you're in there." Hearing that detail, the fat guy breathed a sigh of relief, as if a huge weight had been lifted. He cursed silently. "Ah, that damn bastard nearly scared the soul out of me. So it's that idiot." He then regained his composure and loudly threatened him to get lost. "Are you insane? Are you trying to get yourself killed?" It turned out there was a reason he was shouting so loudly. "In a bit, I'll lure the mutants over to bite that idiot outside to death, while I hide safely in here. I'm a genius." Just as the last word left his mouth, Lin Fan casually smashed his door to pieces. The The powerful impact sent the very door he was gloating behind crashing right into his head, knocking him out cold. He lay sprawled on the ground, looking up at the man before him, his jaw dropping at Lin Fan's sheer power. Holy shit, that's a security door. Did this guy just break it with his bare hands? Is he even human? After clearing a path into the bald man's home, he glanced around and saw a pile of torture instruments laid out before him. Whips, handcuffs, all sorts of chains. He couldn't help but wonder, did he use these things to torture her? Lin Fan then calmly placed the woman's body on the floor. He ignored the bald man's vicious curses, completely unfazed. This is my house. What are you doing bringing that corpse here? Get the hell out and don't start trouble. That's when Lin Fan's expression turned ice cold. He said something that sent a chill down the bald man's spine. Of course, I brought her here to watch you pay the price with her own eyes. With that, he lunged forward and beat the man relentlessly, reducing him to nothing more than whimpers that sounded like a dog's yelps. Let me go. But unexpectedly, after just a few minutes, Lin Fan had already landed 2 punches that left his cheeks swollen and his eyes bruised. At the same time, he shoved a gag in his mouth. The bald man screamed in frustration through the gag. What the hell do you want? Then, he calmly strolled down the deserted street, dragging the man violently behind him with a dog leash. Bringing a criminal here to receive his punishment? Isn't that perfectly normal? This outraged the man, who continued to bark helplessly as he was dragged along by Lin Fan. Normal? Normal, my ass. You psycho. Let me go. Suddenly, he changed the subject. Have you ever seen any mutant movies? Read any apocalypse novels? Hearing this, Lin Fan glanced down and gave a short reply. I have. This encouraged the bald man to ramble on about his twisted philosophies. Philosophies he cherry-picked from movies, trying to normalize the crimes he committed. If you've seen them, then you should know what survival in the apocalypse is like. How you're supposed to act. Don't you think it feels amazing to do whatever you want? But unexpectedly, Lin Fan acted as if he didn't hear a thing, yanked him up, and delivered a thunderous slap across his face. So annoying. Hey, are you an idiot? Novels are novels, movies are movies. It's all fiction. You can't even tell the difference between fiction and reality. This reality check made the man struggle to explain himself. Who's the one who can't tell the difference? The apocalypse is here. It's already here. Without another word, Lin Fan threw him through the gates of a nearby police station, causing him to smash his face on the ground and cry out in pain. Ow, that hurts so bad. Suddenly, the bald man began to reconsider. How is this kid so strong? First, he breaks a security door with his bare hands, and now he sends me flying with a single toss. He then turned and yelled belligerently at Lin Fan. You idiot. What's the point of bringing me here? I already told you. It's the apocalypse. Everyone here fled a long time ago. Even if you bring me here, it's useless. No one can punish me now. Hearing this, Lin Fan scoffed. But it was a laugh full of contempt. No, you're wrong. There is someone. Hearing this, the bald man instinctively turned to look behind him. And what he saw was, mutated figures in police uniforms had noticed him and were now charging at him frantically. Every single one of them looked absolutely ravenous. Lin Fan then watched with satisfaction as this filthy bald bastard was torn to shreds. Look, even after turning into mutants, they still guard this place, punishing evil criminals. The next day, at the Huangshi Library, a meticulously crafted vehicle, modified from top to bottom to withstand the destructive mutants, appeared. It was parked imposingly in front of a large building, as a man's urgent voice called out, "Get your weapons ready, don't split up. If there are too many mutants inside, retreat immediately, and don't make too much noise." The person who stayed in the vehicle replied worriedly, "Old Mao, wait for us to get back." He nodded in agreement. "Don't worry, you guys just stay safe." Just then, a sharp, noble-looking woman with short hair and a killer figure spoke up. She said forcefully, "Remember, we're here to find medical books. Don't get distracted by anything else." After hearing her, they all shouted in unison, "Understood, big sis." Then, they moved out. Arriving at the door, one person opened it while the other held a weapon, ready to strike. "Boss, looks like we're pretty lucky. There are no mutants in the library." Then, she suddenly cried out, "Wait a second." She then took a dagger and lightly tapped a pillar a few times, making a sound to check. Seeing this, they waited nervously before replying, "Boss, it's safe." The other guy, however, grinned foolishly and teased her, "Boss, you're being way too cautious." The boss then stepped forward to swing the door wide open, warning at the same time, "Stop your yapping and get a move on. Go find the medical book section." Surprisingly, Lin Fan cheerfully walked out as if he owned the place, waving and greeting them, "Hello, everyone." This sudden appearance scared them so much they nearly wet their pants. Holy crap, a mutant that can speak human language. But he felt a little hurt by this, quickly composed himself, and spoke to them gently. "Hey, calm down a little. I'm not a mutant. I'm a living person. A living person." However, the boss was still full of suspicion. She took a few steps back, questioning the man before her. What are you doing here? Lin Fan then casually pointed to the book he was holding and replied, reading a book. What else would I be doing in a library? In his hand was the Encyclopedia of Cultivation and Mating. Hearing this, the guy in the hat leaned close to her ear and whispered something. Boss, what he said kind of makes sense. I think your question was a bit redundant. Being called out like that annoyed her, and she snapped, shut up. After that, she did an embarrassed 180-degree turn, her face showing an apologetic expression. We mean no harm. If we've disturbed you, please forgive us. Lin Fan just casually waved it off. It's nothing. You can carry on. Just keep it down a bit. This is a library, after all. When he saw what was on the guy's back, the spiky-haired man was floored, whispering decisively that this guy had a screw loose. Boss, I recognize that sword he's carrying. It's a prop from an online game. If he carried it around to look cool on a normal day, I could understand. But this is the apocalypse. I strongly suspect he's not right in the head. Meanwhile, the guy in the hat couldn't shake his suspicion of him. What do you guys think? Could this be a trap? Yeah. And the boss once again chose to keep the peace, regardless of the two different opinions. In any case, let's just keep our voices down from now on and avoid any conflict with him. After hearing that, they replied respectfully, yes. As they went inside, the boss couldn't help but glance back at Lin Fan. He was sitting perfectly straight, reading his book seriously. I don't know why, but I have a feeling this guy is not to be messed with. We should just grab the books quickly and get out of here to avoid any trouble. After getting a few books, she signaled for her subordinates to leave, but unexpectedly, Lin Fan fixed his eyes on them and called out, Hold it. That single command made everyone's face turn pale and their hearts pound. Is he about to give us trouble? Just as I thought, he's trouble. But the boss kept a cold expression, calmly responding, May I ask what the problem is? Then, Lin Fan said something as if it were the most natural thing in the world. You've taken so many books, you need to check them out. These books aren't being borrowed by an individual, so they need to be registered. That sentence made every single one of them freeze on the spot, stiff as statues. Holy crap, buddy, are you out of your mind? Don't you see what's going on? And you're telling us to register. Where did this guy escape from? I think the only mental hospital in all of Huang City is Qingshan. The boss still tried to remain calm and asked politely, Excuse me for being bold, but do you have any idea what the situation is like outside right now? She was secretly in turmoil. Even though my teammate warned me, I really didn't think he had a screw loose before. But now, he's not normal. He's really not normal. After hearing her, he calmly replied, Of course I do. It's the apocalypse. There are mutants outside that bite people. Aside from those minor details, not much has changed. That answer left the boss stunned, her eyes wide. Are you sure? At this point, the guy in the hat couldn't hold it in anymore and yelled, Wait a minute, buddy. Do you have any freaking clue what's going on outside? Did the apocalypse scare you, stupid? At this, he could only sigh helplessly. Forget it. You have your own way of thinking, and we've gotten what we came for. How about we don't bother each other and just mind our own business? Hearing this, he chuckled softly and reassured them gently. Don't be so tense. I don't have any ill intentions. I just wanted to give you a reminder. It really is very dangerous outside right now. In a situation like this, you obviously don't want to cause any trouble. I get it. By the way, he promoted himself even though no one asked. Oh, right. My name is Lin Fan. I live in apartment 704, Unit 2, Building 2 of the Yangguang residential area. If you run into danger, you can come find me. I'm very strong. 180 mutants are no match for me. This outrageous bragging left the whole group speechless, their mouths twitching. And then, the whole terrified group bolted out of there like a flash. Thank you. If we're ever in real danger, we'll come find you. She quickly thought to herself, it's obvious now. This guy is definitely insane. Run. Seeing this, Lin Fan became dejected, shaking his head warily. They left pretty fast. Huh? I wasn't even. Model. I didn't even get to ask their names. He then reluctantly sat back down in his old chair and let out a sigh. Oh well. Whatever happens, I need to start planning ahead. To be self-sufficient with food, I need to find some time to learn about farming. The scene changes to a deep underground base, located in the middle of a vast desert. An unfamiliar scientist's voice rings out. How strange. According to our test results, the cellular activity in the mutants' bodies is slowly increasing every day. The person on the other end heard this and asked, Are you saying the mutants are evolving? You could say that. It turns out they were in the process of researching the horde of mutants. The man in glasses clasped his hands behind his back and inquired, I just want to know if it's possible to develop a viral antidote. The professor stated firmly, Impossible. This virus is extremely strange. We've never seen anything like it, not even a similar strain. Then, he furrowed his brow and asked the other man, Are you familiar with Jiangxi? This question made the man vaguely realize what he was implying. Are you saying these mutants are actually the living dead? That they're surviving in a different form? The scene then shifts back to Lin Fan. He was casually strolling down the street, thinking to himself that after a long day of studying hard in the library, he had basically mastered the fundamentals of farming. The empty space in this apartment complex is quite large. It's perfectly suitable for growing a few things. So, next up. He then glanced around before shouting out an announcement to all the residents. Hey, can anyone hear me? If you can, answer me. I'm Lin Fan from apartment 704, building 2, unit 2. I want to grow vegetables in the apartment complex. Does anyone object? Unexpectedly, not a single person answered. Instead, a horde of mutants suddenly swarmed toward him. Along with them, other mutants rained down from the tops of the apartment buildings. But Lin Fan didn't flinch. He stood his ground, ready to go all out against them. And just like that, a series of system notifications popped up. Kill a mutant, receive 1 point. It turns out this was all part of his plan. Now he wouldn't have to worry about being ambushed by mutants while he was tilling the soil. Then, Lin Fan shouted out one more time, just to be sure. Is there really no one home today? After that, he finally relaxed and smiled with satisfaction. Looks like there are really no other living people in this complex. That means I don't have to worry about anyone stealing the vegetables I plant. As he was leisurely daydreaming about the future, reality suddenly hit him. His stomach rumbled, demanding food. An army marches on its stomach. I should find something to eat before I start working. I can check on that mother and daughter while I'm at it. Finishing his thought, he immediately ran over to the girl's apartment building and sat down, devouring his food. Taking a bite, he said, the fruits, vegetables, and meat at the supermarket have all gone bad. I could only get some pate. Don't be shy, you two. Go ahead and eat. His actions made the girl blush as she thanked him shyly. Then she continued, embarrassed, I know that there's no such thing as a free lunch. No one helps for no reason. You've already helped my daughter and me so much. I really don't want to make you uncomfortable, but my husband is dead. I'm worried that if something happens to me, my daughter will. Suddenly, Lin Fan offered, is there something I can help you with? His words left her stunned. She never expected him to agree to help her so easily. She then stammered out her request. I want my daughter to go with you. After hearing this, he gave a crazy, nonsensical reply that no one could understand. You want to move into my apartment complex, right? I can help with that. The complex where I live is an old one, so the rent isn't expensive, only about 2,000 yuan a month. If you really need a place, I can ask the real estate agent for you. I know the owner of the agency. This unexpected turn made the girl's face fall instantly. Are we even on the same wavelength? Meanwhile, elsewhere in a high-rise building, a group of middle-aged men had gathered, the atmosphere tense. Suddenly, Chen Gang's phone rang. Who in the world would be calling me at a time like this? Wait, could it be a rescue announcement? The rescue team. Finally, he hurriedly answered the phone, tears of joy welling up in his eyes, when suddenly, the laughter of the person on the other end came through. Hello, Brother Chen. About that house you're selling with New Wind Realty. I was wondering, could I rent it instead? This question made him furious, and he screamed into the phone it had to be Lin Fan. That crazy lunatic, you psycho. What kind of idiot is pulling a tasteless joke like this at a time like this? Then he quickly hung up. Is that guy blind or something? Can he see what it's like outside? He then slumped down in despair. Everything had happened so suddenly. If our place wasn't a high-end complex with a strict access system that not just anyone can get into, we would have been dead long ago. For the past few days, everyone has been staying on this state. On the rooftop, they stared up at the sky, hoping to see some sign of rescue, like a plane or a helicopter. But for days, there was nothing. Then suddenly, that damn phone rang once again. This drove him crazy. Are you insane? On the other end of the line, Lin Fan put on a sorrowful tone. Brother Chen, why are you yelling at me? I just want to rent a house. Realizing Chen Gang was about to hang up on him again, he sighed in frustration. People these days are so hot-headed. It's fine, I'll just call him a few more times. But as soon as he dialed the number, he started cursing at Lin Fan again. You bastard, what the hell do you want? However, Lin Fan was very persistent. Brother Chen, I just want to rent your house. There's no need to get so worked up. Finally, Chen Gang had to give in to Lin Fan's sheer shamelessness, letting him do whatever he wanted. You want to rent? Fine. I'll let you rent. I'm on the rooftop of building number 3 of the Fangji International Complex right now. If you want to rent, get over here immediately. If you've got the guts, come and find me. Afterwards, he cheerfully told the two people with him. He agreed. Wait for me for a bit. I'm going to find him to rent the house for you too. This left the woman bewildered, not understanding what was happening. Wait a minute. At the same time, over on the other side, someone came over to ask him, Brother Chen, what's wrong? Just some idiot. Then, the The guy patted his shoulder and intimately dragged him away. Forget about him. Brother Chen, come with me for a second. I have something important to discuss with you. After sneaking into a deserted corner, the man began whispering wicked words, planting dark ideas into his ear. Brother Chen, I did the math earlier. The supplies we've gathered will only last us half a month at most. Hearing this, he slowly understood the man's implication. Xiao glanced to the other side, his voice cold. Brother Chen, including us, there are 15 people in total. 4 of them are old. I don't think it's necessary to keep them around. Let's just kill them off. After hearing this, he replied, his voice tinged with hesitation. Killing them, outright. I'm afraid the others won't agree. After all, these past few days when we had no food, it was those 2 old couples who shared theirs with us. The man sighed heavily, trying to seize control of the decision. Brother Chen, just leave this to me. I'll handle it. After we deal with these old geezers, we'll kill the rest of the men. As for the women, we'll kill the ugly ones too. Then, they both glanced over at the group of girls. Chen Gang found this reasonable, and a wave of joy surged within him. It was like a blazing fire. Yes, we'll only keep the pretty ones. After all, no one knows when the apocalypse will end. Keeping them for service could be a bit of fun. Meanwhile, Lin Fan was cheerfully playing a game of chase with a horde of mutants. Hey, you slowpokes, keep up. If you don't train every day, your bodies won't be able to handle it. A system information panel appeared. Name, Lin Fan. Strength, 40, super strong. Stamina, 20, quite strong. Speed, 15, standard. Points, 0. At the same time, wherever Lin Fan passed, people were looking down from above, their eyes filled with curiosity. Someone curiously shouted, "Who is this guy? How dare he leisurely ride a bicycle on the street like this? Quick, call out to him and let him know we're here." Suddenly, someone stopped them, their voice filled with worry. "Don't be crazy. Do you really think he can escape anywhere on a bicycle?" After riding for a long time, Lin Fan decided to stop here. This was the Fangji International Complex. He couldn't help but widen his eyes in amazement at its massive scale. What an incredibly luxurious and extravagant residential area. Then he instinctively glanced behind him, smiling smugly. I've left those mutants far behind. Haven't they caught up yet? The scene changes to Xiao gathering everyone and giving them detailed instructions. If everyone agrees, then this is what we'll do later. Don't worry, as long as you all follow me and Brother Chen. Even in this apocalypse, I guarantee I'll lead you all to a life of good food and drink. At the same time, the group of elderly people were huddled in a corner, the atmosphere heavy. This old man was named Wang Zhongguo, a retired soldier. The person next to him was Xu Guifen, a retired military doctor. Guifen, we're old now, and the survival supplies are dwindling. He had already figured out their intentions. Those young people probably want to get rid of old burdens like us. Well then, I think we should just give them our chance to survive. This country, this society, still needs the young to rebuild it. All right, I'll listen to you. On the other side was Zhou Aijun, a retired military industry expert. Brother Wang, you truly are broad-minded. Hearing this, he turned his head, his voice empathetic. Old brother Zhu, you think so too, don't you? I've dedicated my whole life. Besides dedication, I don't know what else to do. I don't hope for anything more than for these young people to live. That's what's most important. Just then, Aijun's wife came over and gently tapped him on the head. Liang Yan, a retired teacher. Seeing her, he became sad and said bitterly, I just feel sorry for you, having to suffer with me. I've suffered for decades already. Why would I care about suffering a little more? You're right, you're right. Just then, Chen Gang spoke up, his voice cheerful. Xiao Jiao, my man, we really owe you one this time. You convinced everyone so quickly. Hearing this, the guy chuckled to himself and said in a fawning tone, Oh, what's this? It was all thanks to Brother Chen's brilliant leadership. He put on a noble act of saving the world. But in his heart, he was already thinking, after I deal with these old geezers, I'll take out the other guys. And in the end, Chen Gang, I'm coming for you. Then all the supplies and the pretty girls here will be all mine. Just then, Zhu Aijun walked over to them and called out loudly, We know what you're all planning. Don't worry, we will. Not take your supplies, and you don't need to push us off the roof. Doing something like that would be a form of torture, and it would take a terrible toll on your minds and spirits. We old men will just go to our own homes and wait for death. That'll be enough. Hearing this, that ugly girl vehemently disagreed, shouting, You can't let them go. Who knows if they'll go downstairs, open the security door, and lead the mutants right to us. The crowd heard this and started siding with her, their voices filled with agitation. She's right. If we let these 4 old men go, who knows what they might do? We have to throw them off the roof. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. Brother Chen, are you in there? When no one answered, the person outside asked again, Brother Chen, I'm the one who called you before. I want to rent your apartment." Hearing this, he bellowed in frustration. "Who the hell are you?" He thought to himself, "Rent an apartment? Is this guy treating me like a kid? What era are we in now? No one gives a damn where you stay." Unbelievably, Lin Fan just went ahead and smashed through the door they had worked so hard to reinforce, then put on an innocent puppy dog face. "Sorry, I didn't realize your door was so fragile." Seeing this, Xu Jiao hurried over and whispered a plan into his ear. "Brother Chen, just tell him he can rent it. We'll watch him go downstairs, and once he's at the bottom, we'll throw those 4 old geezers down to make a huge noise. When the mutants come out, he'll have no choice but to run, luring them away for us. Won't that make this place even safer for us?" After hearing the plan, he let out a cunning laugh and nodded obediently. "You're right. Your brain is sharp and just twisted enough." Just then, Lin Fan spoke up again. "Excuse me, which one of you is Chen Gang?" At that, he stepped forward brazenly. "Fine, you can rent the place. Now you can leave." Lin Fan was delighted to hear this and replied, "Thank you, Brother Chen. This is the salary I received not too long ago. It's 5,000 yuan in total. I know it's a little short, but it's all I have for now. I'll transfer the rest to you later." This left him completely stunned, his eyes wide. "This guy can't be an idiot, can he?" Lin Fan replied, "Yup." Then he waved his hand dismissively. "All right, we're done. Stay as long as you want. Now scram." Reassured, Lin Fan began to leave, not forgetting to thank them. But one person made him stop in his tracks. "Excuse me, sir. Are you Mr. Zhu Aijun?" "Young man, you know me?" At that, Lin Fan excitedly grabbed his hand, his eyes sparkling. "I saw you on television. When foreign powers sanctioned our weapons technology, you were the one who led the team to overcome countless technical hurdles, giving us our own weapons to be proud of. You're a hero." This made the old man burst out laughing. "You flatter me. That's all in the past now." Suddenly, a sad expression crossed his face as he asked, "Are you gentlemen leaving the rooftop? It's incredibly dangerous outside right now." Hearing this, Aijin replied calmly, "We're not going back. There aren't many supplies left. It's better to leave hope for the younger generation. We're old now. We're no longer useful. It's best not to waste resources." When Lin Fan heard this, he couldn't hide his displeasure. He shot a piercing glare in their direction. Seeing it, the others instinctively flinched back, a chill running down their spines. "What's with this kid's eyes? He's giving me the creeps. This kid is definitely not someone to mess with." Then, Lin Fan's attitude did a complete 180 as he turned back to the old men with a bright smile. "Gentlemen, please come with me. Come back to my place. It's pretty safe, and I believe I have what it takes to protect you." However, they refused him outright. "Young man, thank you for your kindness, but please, forget it. We would only be a burden to you. Just knowing you have such thoughts is a great comfort to us." But he had no intention of giving up, his voice firm. "Don't talk like that. I'm very capable. Everyone, just follow me. You can come to my apartment complex for now, and I'll find an agent to rent apartments for you." This left everyone stunned, their eyes wide. Rent a place. This young man is truly one of a kind. With that, Lin Fan quickly grabbed their hands, his voice urgent. "Don't hesitate anymore. Everyone, listen to me," he insisted, pulling them along. "All of you, come with me." Suddenly, Chen Gang lunged forward, about to shout, "Hey, wait," but Jiao quickly held him back. "Brother Chen, just let them go. Don't get the wrong idea. We're still going ahead with the plan." He smirked, his voice dripping with cunning. "Isn't this even better? In a bit, when they get downstairs, we'll lure the mutants over and take care of that kid and those old geezers in one fell swoop." Abruptly, brilliant golden rays of light erupted from the ground, flared to life, shining right on the moving group. Lin Fan froze, his heart pounding in his chest. The faces around him turned pale, filled with terror. Old man Zhang Guo held Mrs. Gui Fen tightly as everyone looked up at the towering skyscrapers. But on the rooftop of the tallest building, a sight appeared that made everyone's blood run cold. A group of people were frantically swinging huge potted plants, throwing them straight down at them with inhuman expressions as if human lives were nothing but trash. At the same time, Zhao and Chen Gang burst out laughing, their mocking voices echoing. "Be careful, everyone. Don't kill them directly. Hit them hard, throw things down with force, and lure the mutants over from the surrounding area to come and bite them to death." Old man Zhang Guo, Mrs. Gui Fen, and Mrs. Liang Yan still couldn't believe their eyes. Liang Yan shrieked, "These bastards. They want to crush us to death." Her face was pale, her voice trembling with rage at the cruelty of those young people. At that moment, they simply thought the people up there wanted to kill them in the most brutal way possible. But Lin Fan's eyes suddenly darkened. "No, they're far worse than you think." His chilling gaze sent a shiver down everyone's spine. Old man Zhang Guo quickly spoke up as if wanting to confirm the horrifying thought. "Young man, Are you saying they don't just want to crush us to death, but they want to make noise to lure the mutants here? To let the horde of mutants bite us to death? The moment he finished, the old woman beside him exclaimed resentfully, "They're a bunch of animals." At the same time, the city sky suddenly turned strangely gloomy. Blood-soaked corpses littered the street. Old man Ai-jun, who had been silent with a dark expression, finally spoke up doubtfully. "Speaking of which, has anyone noticed something?" He frowned, his voice full of suspicion. "What's with all these mutant corpses on the ground? Could it be that someone has created something that can kill mutants?" Mrs. Liang Yan immediately retorted, a hint of annoyance in her voice. "Oh, stop it with your old age forgetfulness. How could something like that be created so easily?" Suddenly, old man Zhang Guo chimed in, his voice trembling. "Wait a minute. Could it be? No way, right?" All eyes immediately turned to Lin Fan. He just gave a bright, innocent smile as if nothing was wrong. "Why is everyone looking at me? I didn't have a choice. If I hadn't killed them just now, I wouldn't have been able to get to the rooftop safely." Hearing this, everyone stared at him in utter astonishment, their eyes wide and mouths agape. "What? For real? We're not worried about that. We're worried about you. You mean you managed to kill that many mutants all by yourself?" The scene shifts to the rooftop of the building. They had thrown everything down to make noise and attract the mutants, but not a single one appeared. The group started to panic. "Brother Chen, we've thrown everything down, but there's still no sign of movement below." The others also looked down, their faces drained of all color. "Huh. Damn it. Why is it all mutant corpses down there?" But Brother Chen stubbornly refused to believe it. "What nonsense are you talking about? How is that possible?" Jing Jiao rushed forward, shoving the others aside. "Get out of the way. Let me see what's going on." After observing for a moment, he realized in a panic, a curse escaping his lips. "Holy shit, it's for real." Suddenly, Xiao Lu's face turned ice cold. He forcefully pushed a man over the railing to attract the mutants. The man panicked and struggled violently. Half of his body was already dangling in midair. Just a little more and he would be in free fall. His hands gripped the edge of the wall tightly, his eyes wide with confusion, not understanding what was happening. After Xiao pushed the man, Brother Chen couldn't believe what he had just witnessed. He stammered, "Brother Xiao?" The man replied calmly, his voice chilling, "What are you looking at me for?" The atmosphere instantly became suffocatingly tense. "Stop throwing things. They're not attracting the mutants anymore." And so, they came up with another bold idea. Then there's only one way left. Use the smell of blood to attract the mutants from further away. Hearing this despicable plan, Brother Chen broke into a wicked smile. "Only your brain works around here. Little Xiao, you did well." Another person chimed in with a sycophantic laugh. "Brother Xiao is mighty." A moment later, a heavy thud echoed from the ground below. Splat. It was followed by horrified gasps from the onlookers. A pool of dark red blood shot up, splattering all over the glass walls and the street. The strong, metallic smell assaulted their nostrils, making everyone feel nauseous. Lured by the scent of blood, mutants from afar began to swarm in like a tide. Seeing this, the people on the rooftop laughed smugly. "Brother Xiao, your method really works. Now let's see how these idiots run. I can't wait to hear their desperate screams." Down below, the group was becoming aware of the danger, their hearts filled with anxiety. "What do we do now? The mutants are really being lured here." Seeing this, Lin Fan quickly asked, "Hey, old man, do you have a car?" The man was confused but still answered, "I do. It's in the garage. But why are you asking about that now? My bicycle can't carry this many people." As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Fan shot off, shouting back over his shoulder, "You guys drive the car to the place I mentioned earlier. I have to. Model. Something I have to take care of first." The group stared after him, confused. "Wait," the old man quickly tried to stop him. "Hey, young man, you're still young. While the mutants haven't broken down the door, you should run. We'll hold them off for you. That's right, you're young. Your life is more valuable than us old folks. If someone has to be sacrificed, it should be us." They all thought he was going to risk his life to save them, but they had no idea he had already made preparations. A woman named Ai-jun was the first to realize it. She immediately spoke up. "What are you all worried about? Hurry up. This young man isn't stupid. He must have his reasons for doing this." "That's right. I can tell that young man is no ordinary person. The best way to help him is to just listen to him and not cause any more trouble." Suddenly, Lin Fan exclaimed with a hint of sarcasm in his voice, "See, I told you so. These mutants never get any exercise. Such poor stamina is just not going to cut it." Before him, the horde of mutants was trying their best to break down the door. "I've been here for a while, and you're only just now dragging yourselves over, so slow." Chen Gang's face darkened. "Brother Xiao, something's not right. The mutants haven't broken through the door yet, but that kid is running over to the other side on his own." The man replied with a contemptuous tone, He must have been scared stupid. What else could it be? He's lost his mind. Chen Gang let out a sinister laugh, his face grim. Looks like Brother Xiao hit the nail on the head again. The kid is even opening the door himself. He's really asking for it. The kid's starting to run now. That's more like it. No matter how stupid you are, you can't go against your survival instinct. That makes sense. Brother Xiao, you've always been sharp. Wait a minute, Brother Chen, something's wrong. The direction that kid is running. It seems to be, he said, his face a mask of horrified disbelief. Then, they turned to each other and shouted in unison. Holy crap. They stammered uncontrollably. Holy crap. He's leading the mutants over here. Unexpectedly, he was acting as bait, leading them right to where Chen Gang and Xiao were standing, causing a scene of absolute chaos. Horde after horde of mutants followed him, and the group stared at him in terror. And what they feared even more than him was the massive army of roaring mutants hot on his heels. You little bastard, what the hell do you think you're doing? Didn't you guys want to lure the mutants over here? I was just being a good person and brought them to you. No need to thank me. Then, the horde of mutants flooded in from outside like a tidal wave, leaving them so terrified they couldn't even scream. Seeing this, Chen Gang roared in frustration. Thank you, my ass. The scene shifts to a small, pale pink apartment complex with a warm, slightly classic feel. A woman's gentle, urging voice calls out, Hurry, everyone, go wash your hands. It's time to eat. It turned out to be Fei Fei's mother. She then turned to him, her voice full of excitement, Brother Lin Fan, come and try my cooking. Then she said gratefully, Thanks to you, Fei Fei and I are able to live in peace. Hearing this, the old folks cheerfully chimed in, Hey, that's right. If it weren't for little Fan, these 4 old-timers probably wouldn't have lived to see another day. At that moment, Fei Fei noticed him staring at her and asked in an innocent voice, Uncle, why are you looking at me? Is there something on my face? Fueled by curiosity, Lin Fan asked, Little Fei Fei, where's your backpack? The little girl looked back at him with a blank expression. Huh? A backpack? What backpack? After hearing this, he explained everything to the little girl in detail, even though no one asked him to, and even introduced the retired teacher to her. Even though it's the apocalypse, you're still young, so you still have to study properly. This is Mrs. Liang. She's a retired teacher, so she can teach you. How about this? Later, Uncle will take some time to go get your backpack and school books for you, okay? At that, Fei Fei's eyes started to well up with tears. She looked at her mother and asked, Mommy, it's the end of the world. Do I still have to study? Her mother helplessly patted her head. Be a good girl. Listen to Uncle. He's right. Studying is the only thing you can do right now. The little girl's face began to crumple. No, I don't want to. I don't want to. Uncle is mean, and so are you, Mommy. Hearing this, everyone burst into hearty laughter. And just like that, the Sunshine apartment complex where Lin Fan lived welcomed 6 new residents. A place that was once gloomy and oppressive now felt a little more lively. Just then, Lin Fan spoke gently. Everyone, go ahead and eat. I'm going to take out the trash, and while I'm at it, I'll grab Fei Fei's books and backpack. Huh? Uncle, no. If you do that, you'll be my enemy. As dusk settled and the sun sank behind the mountains, a gentle darkness enveloped the small house. The green lights arranged in the yard added to the mysterious, magical atmosphere. In the deep sky, a few stars twinkled like the gentle notes of the night. In the evening, mutants began to roam around looking for food, but they were immediately struck by a sniper's bullet right between the eyes, collapsing on the spot. A young man in a black baseball cap shouted, his voice full of confidence, Done. 2 mutants. Too easy. The young man analyzed the situation silently. In this small area, most of the mutants wandering the streets had been eliminated. But as for the ones hiding inside the shops, it would be difficult to clear them all out. Just then, a short-haired woman spoke up. In a pensive voice, she said, Let's just ignore them for now. Then she changed the subject to their current food supply. Right. I've already rationed the food. We can hold out for about 3 more days. The water supply isn't an issue for now either. The water plant still hasn't shut down. She frowned suspiciously. It should have been cut off a long time ago. From what I can tell, there might be someone over at the water plant. As she was speaking, a loud explosion suddenly echoed from outside, startling everyone. A pillar of fire and smoke shot up, attracting swarms of mutants. Hearing the commotion, she asked with a worried voice, What's going on? The entire group, including the boy in the baseball cap, curiously peered down below. Seeing the scene, the female leader cried out, her face pale with fright. This is bad. That explosion attracted all the mutants in the area. What kind of bastard would cause such a huge commotion? To their surprise, they saw a girl, about 18 or 20 years old, being frantically chased and surrounded by a horde of mutants. She let out a few miserable screams. Help! Somebody save me. Suddenly, A gigantic arm appeared and brutally finished her off in an instant. Then, it let out a furious, savage roar, as if asserting its dominance over the area. The sight made the female leader's face drain of all color. Is this a mutant? A giant one. Don't tell me the mutants are evolving. Just then, a trash can suddenly moved into their line of sight, making a few clattering sounds that made her jump in fright. She wondered if the sound meant there was another giant mutant. Curiously, she peered closer at the trash can. Unexpectedly, it was Lin Fan, the lunatic they'd met a few days ago, who was nonchalantly pulling a dumpster with a deadpan expression. He said, "Oops, sorry. Bumped into you?" Suddenly, the horde of mutants was sent flying into the air, and an information panel appeared before everyone's eyes. Name, Lin Fan. Strength, 80, extreme. Stamina, 45, superhuman. Speed, 40, superhuman. Score, 0. He then addressed them in a friendly, joking tone. "You guys out for some exercise, too? In that case, to make up for it, how about we go for a night run together? I'll lead the way." Saying that, he drew his sword. The furious roar of the giant mutant echoed, seemingly tearing the night sky apart. At that moment, the female leader, surprised, collected her thoughts and realized, "Oh, so it's him?" The others stared, their eyes wide in disbelief. "Am I seeing things? What? I think I just saw that guy running away while pulling a dumpster." Then, he cheered excitedly. "Leader, that guy lured the mutants away. I think we're saved." Cutting to the Buko supermarket, Lin Fan finally arrived, dragging the dumpster and panting heavily. "Finally made it. I'll just leave the apartment complex's dumpster here for now. I need to go upstairs, grab the backpack for Fei Fei, and then I'll find a place to dump this trash." Just then, a group of 4 burly, gangster-like young men looked down from above and shouted at him. "Hey, what are you doing down there?" He looked up at them and asked, "Can I help you guys with something? My trash can at home is full, so I came here to find a place to empty it." Before he could finish, they all cut him off, their voices dripping with mockery. "Holy crap, did you guys hear that? This dude says he's here to take out the trash. What a genius. Huh. He's really marching to the beat of his own drum in this apocalypse. You hit the nail on the head. You sure he's not just some idiot?" You can drop the, "Sure. He's definitely an idiot." But Lin Fan simply replied calmly, "Isn't taking out the trash a perfectly normal thing to do?" Even though they were relentlessly mocking him, Lin Fan remained unfazed, deciding to be the bigger person. "Is something the matter with you guys? If you need help, just say the word." One of them couldn't help but burst out laughing and shout, "Are you for real, you idiot? I'm living it up here, eating well, sleeping soundly, and you're asking if we need help. There's really something wrong with your head." He then threatened aggressively, "Believe it or not, all I have to do is shout once, and you'll be chased down by a horde of mutants." At that, he suddenly waved goodbye as if nothing had happened. He left the dumpster there, said bye-bye, and just walked off, leaving the group so indignant they were speechless. Son of a bitch. "Hey you? What was that attitude? I think he was looking down on us." They then began to conspire, revealing their twisted true colors. "Let's lure the mutants over here. Perfect timing. I've been wanting to see what a guy looks like getting chased by them. I'm in. Besides, we're totally safe up here on the 2nd floor. Unless the mutants can fly." After that, they all started hooting and hollering. They screamed like a bunch of idiots, trying to draw the mutants over. However, after shouting until their throats were sore, the area remained surprisingly quiet. It left them stunned, wondering among themselves, "Holy crap, don't tell me there are no mutants around here?" Another guy replied, "No way, there should be plenty of them." He then looked around in confusion. "Huh? So where are all the mutants?" Just then, he looked up from below and answered casually, "Don't worry, they'll be here soon." He then nonchalantly strolled inside, and just as he said that, one of the thugs couldn't hold it in any longer. He screamed, cursing at Lin Fan, "That idiot. What the hell is he talking about?" Hearing this, the other guy, he just froze. Who could have known? Then, a look of boredom washed over his face, revealing his true nature of treating people like his personal playthings. But it was a total buzzkill. He couldn't believe he'd failed to lure a mutant to kill that idiot. Just then, the ground suddenly began to shake violently, and rocks and pebbles started rolling down the slope. Hearing this, they asked each other, their voices trembling, "Hey, do you hear that?" The other guys had the exact same reaction. "Holy crap, it's real." What the hell is that sound?" Suddenly, a monster appeared before their eyes, roaring frantically. Its ferocious and savage expression made their hair stand on end. The house was utterly destroyed. Lin Fan appeared, a backpack on his shoulders and a long sword in hand. He let out a remark, his voice tinged with sarcasm. "Looks like those teenagers from earlier were getting along with the zombies just fine." A cry echoed from somewhere nearby. A little surprised, he turned his head toward the source of the sound. He walked towards the Shania bookstore. It sounded like a baby crying. Step by step, he ascended the stairs, his curiosity growing with each one. Could there really be a child in the store? He kept climbing until he reached the top of the stairs, where he was horrified to find the body of a woman hanging from above. It looked like a suicide. The woman's face was deathly pale, her mouth agape, her hands dangling limply. Draped around her neck was a cloth bundle carrying a baby. He watched, filled with doubt. The child was clearly still alive, so why would she choose to hang herself? Wasn't this just abandoning her child? He hesitated, wondering if he should get closer to investigate and save the baby. What if it was a trap that would cost him his life here? But he still chose to save the baby. He slowly approached and carefully untied the cloth from around the woman's neck. Inside, there was a baby, still breathing, and something blue. He realized it looked like a diary. The baby's cries rang out, growing louder upon seeing a person. It must have been starving for a long time. He took the baby into his arms, comforting it gently. It's okay. It's okay. Shh. Don't cry. Don't cry. I'll get you out of here. With no milk, he had to let it suck on his finger to stop its crying. It was only then that Lin Fan noticed the worn, light blue diary tucked in with the baby. The first page of the diary was written clearly. No rescue. No food. I'm growing weaker and weaker. I know I don't have much time left. I've seen the others who died. They all turned into zombies. I don't want my child to be harmed. While I still have some strength, I think I need to prepare for the end. He thought to himself, when she wrote these lines, she must have been so conflicted and desperate. Holding her child, her mind filled with tangled thoughts and sorrow. I'm terrified of hurting this child. I had to endure the pain of shattering the teeth in my mouth and wrapping it tightly with a strip of cloth. That way, even if I turn into a zombie, I won't lose control and bite my child. My child's name is Ming Meng. If anyone finds this place, I hope you can help my child live on. I know that in the apocalypse, a child is a burden. If you want to kill her, I only hope you don't let her feel any pain. Don't just throw her outside. I don't want her to be eaten by zombies. Even though she wasn't sure if anyone would come, she still wanted to take a gamble. A gamble that someone would come, and that they would be kind enough to save her child. A gamble that a mother's sacrifice for her child was worth it and not in vain. Reading the words in the diary, Lin Fan felt a deep sense of admiration for the woman before him. He bowed his head and said, "Rest assured, I will make sure your child survives." Suddenly, there was a clattering sound. It was a basketball rolling towards him. Surprised and on guard, Lin Fan held the child tightly, watching the basketball roll to a stop at his feet. Roar. A monster with 9 blood-red eyes, bearing 2 rows of sharp teeth, with messy, disheveled hair and razor-sharp claws, lunged towards Lin Fan and the baby. He swiftly dodged its attack. So fast. Its speed surpassed any zombie he had ever encountered before. The monster missed, but it quickly lunged at its new prey again. Lin Fan drew the long sword from his back, a strange question forming in his mind. With such a powerful zombie here, how did the baby survive? A thought flashed through his mind. Wait a minute. Could it be that this zombie was using the baby as bait to lure others in? Lost in thought, the evolved zombie monster continued to charge at him with dizzying speed. There was a flash of light. With one arm holding the sleeping child, Lin Fan swung his sword with the other, slicing into the massive monster. The monster was split in 2, blood splattering everywhere. The scene was truly horrifying. Ding! A system notification sounded. Killed an evolved speed-type zombie. Received +3 points. The baby was still sleeping soundly in Lin Fan's arms, while he was left stunned and full of questions. What the hell is going on? The zombies I've met so far have never been this smart. On the floor lay the corpse of the evolved speed-type zombie in a pool of splattered blood. In the middle of the corpse, which Lin Fan had sliced in 2, was a dazzling red stone. Suddenly, he remembered something. The place he had just entered was a bookstore. A bookstore? Oh, I get it now. This is a bookstore. This zombie has clearly been studying books. Knowledge really is power. It helps humanity progress. With his question answered, Lin Fan finally breathed a sigh of relief. He walked around, looking for books on the old shelves. Since I'm already here, I should probably buy some test prep books and workbooks for Fei Fei. You can tell just by looking at her that Fei Fei is a girl who loves to study. When she sees these, she's definitely going to be thrilled, he said with a confident expression. The scene changes to a barren desert, where a few lush green trees are surprisingly growing. This is an underground base in the desert. A professor wearing a white coat, completely bald with a white beard and glasses, stared at the red stone the girl had brought back with a look of astonishment and disbelief. He was agitated, his hand trembling as he wiped the sweat from his brow, his eyes wide with utter shock as he exclaimed, "Is this something that was found inside the brain of a mutated zombie?" That's right, this zombie was a bit special. So we decided to inspect its corpse and found this crystal inside its brain, the girl replied. The professor, looking thoughtful, said, "Give me a full report." Yes, sir. The first shot was fired at the scene to the south. The weapon he used was a CSLR-35 sniper rifle. It was a direct hit to the zombie's head. The image shows the Special Forces operative lying in a sniper's position, full of tension. But what happened next was shocking. Boom. A beam of light shot through, striking the giant zombie monster right in the head and blowing the top of its skull apart. But not only did the zombie not die from the shot, its ability to move was completely unaffected as it quickly charged the base. The special ops team kept firing at it from the south, hitting its head repeatedly until it finally shattered, and only then did it collapse. The zombie splattered blood and fell to the ground. Until we encountered this one, all the zombies we've come into contact with, forget about guns, even a simple iron rod to the head could kill them. But this time, a direct shot to the head couldn't kill it. It's truly unbelievable. The professor was engrossed in observing the strange red crystal while listening to the girl's detailed report. After she finished, he had a basic grasp of the situation. He turned to the girl and said, "It seems the zombies are truly evolving. But why are they evolving like this? Even blowing its head off can't kill it. It's like a demon. The only bases in the country we can still contact are the Dragon Palace base and the Milky Way base. But the zombies outside are continuously evolving. Can we really save this world?" Professor, I actually have a rather immature thought. The professor was surprised by her words. Go on. The girl continued, "In my free time, I used to enjoy reading novels. In many of those novels, zombies are described as having crystals in their brains, which are essential materials for evolution." She said this while looking at the glittering red crystal held in a test tube in her hand. Humans who kill zombies and obtain these crystals can absorb the energy within them, thereby evolving into superhumans. I wonder if this crystal is the same. The professor's face went blank, full of question marks. As if to say, "You can even think of something like that." He said, "Huh? Zombie novels?" Scene change. A woman peeks down from above. Is there someone outside? The streets are full of terrifying zombies. How does he dare to just stroll around out there? Then, Lin Fan suddenly looked up, scaring her half to death. She ducked down, covering her mouth. Oh no, he looked my way. Did he see me? This person was the sweetheart idol, Su Xiaoxiao. As for Lin Fan, he was still bewildered. There are other survivors. Just then, the sound of an engine caught his attention. A luxury car pulled up right at the police station, accompanied by an urgent voice. "Hurry up and get a move on." This group was made up of gangsters from Huang City. Seeing this, Lin Fan cheerfully greeted them. He thought to himself, even from this distance, I can smell the strong scent of blood on these guys. When they saw Lin Fan, the whole group was stunned. Holy crap, with so many of them out here, how is there still a living person on the street? Should we take him out? But the leader advised, don't worry about him for now. If we stir up the zombies around here, don't forget the mission the boss gave us for this trip. The others heard this and agreed. You're right. If we don't find what the boss wants, he'll skin us alive. Just then, the driver glanced at Lin Fan, wondering to himself, this idiot still hasn't run away? Then he had a twisted thought. After my guys get the guns and come out, I'm going to tie him up and drag him behind the car. Let the zombies chase and tear him apart. Unexpectedly, Lin Fan cheerfully ran up to the car door, causing the guy to turn pale with fright. What are you doing? Lin Fan then asked cheerfully. Nothing much. I just came over to say hi and ask what you guys are up to. However, the driver remained on high alert. Holy crap, you nearly scared me to death. I must be seeing a ghost. Wasn't he just over there a second ago? How did he suddenly appear right in front of me? Seeing him, the rest of the group asked, Oh, this kid is still here? Hey you, what's he doing? The driver changed the subject. Right, have you guys found what the boss needs? They then tossed a red bag into the car, asking rhetorically, why else would I be here? With this stuff, our lives are going to be a lot more comfortable. Just then, one of the guys took an interest in him and said, You've got some nerve, you little brat. Daring to run around on the streets all by yourself, how the hell have you managed to stay alive until now? Lin Fan replied in a tone so naive it was hard to believe. When I run into regular zombies, I usually have a chat with them, advising them not to be so reckless. If they don't listen, I defend myself and slash them with my sword. His words left the young man stunned, his eyes wide with confusion. Is there something wrong with my hearing? What is he talking about? Suddenly, another man pointed a dark gun barrel straight at Lin Fan. Kid, do you know what this is? However, Lin Fan stood perfectly still, unfazed, his gaze unusually calm. So, the four of you went in there just to steal guns? Hearing this, the man shouted in annoyance. Are you crazy? In times like these, is it even considered stealing? This is the apocalypse, you know. The apocalypse? Everyone we've killed begged for their lives before they died. Damn it, are you looking down on us? But before he could finish his sentence, his gun-wielding arm was sliced clean in two. My apologies. I've been defending myself against zombies for so long. I'm so used to slicing that I forgot you were human. The guy next to him saw this and frantically pulled out his gun. You little bastard, you really are asking for it. In the next instant, that man was sliced in half, blood splattering everywhere. Seeing this, the rest of the group froze in terror, their hearts pounding. This guy's attack speed is so fast I could barely see anything. Is he even human? At the same time, inside the car, the driver yelled impatiently. That was too loud. The zombies are going to be drawn here. Get in the car, now. But the men just stood there, stunned, their feet seemingly rooted to the ground. The driver couldn't take it anymore and sped off instantly. Get in the car. What are you all still standing there for? I'm not waiting for you anymore. What? You better remember what happened today. Just wait until I get back and report this to the boss. He definitely won't let you off. This sent the guys behind him scrambling after the car. You son of a bitch, we're not in the car yet. Get back here. However, it was too late. The sound of the engine faded into the heavy air. Seeing this, Lin Fan sheathed his sword, a glint of amusement in his eyes. Look, even the enthusiastic zombies couldn't hold back anymore. They may not be very friendly, but when they know there are criminals around, they'll bravely step up to bite you. This made the two remaining guys' faces sink. What the hell do you mean, enthusiastic zombies? Isn't it because the smell of blood after you attacked us attracted them? Suddenly, Lin Fan leaped onto the roof of a building. Remember this, justice may be delayed, but it will never be denied. Then he waved goodbye to the gangsters, his figure gracefully disappearing from sight. And as the horde of mutants surrounded them, they realized their mistake far too late. Quick, draw your guns. It's too late. No, I don't want to die here. The commotion over here had attracted the attention of Su Xiaoxiao on the other side. She wondered to herself, her voice trembling. What's happening outside? Why is it so noisy? There are so many zombies over there. Could it be because of that person who was wandering around outside earlier? I don't know what he was thinking. It's so dangerous out there, yet he dared to roam around. He's probably been bitten and killed by now, right? Suddenly, our young man's face appeared right in front of hers, startling her completely. The second floor? This is the second floor. His. How did his face appear outside the window? How on earth did he do that? Lin Fan looked at her, thinking to himself that the apocalypse must have frightened this girl silly. Although I really want to help her, she definitely won't be able to accept me right away. I have to give her enough time to calm down. It's decided. From now on, I'll come to her window every day and give her a smile. I'll use my kindness to win her over, to make her understand that I mean no harm and that she doesn't need to be so afraid. Meanwhile, she was terrified and anxious, her heart racing. I'm screwed. I'm screwed. He's found me. What do I do? If I run, I definitely won't escape. He'll surely tell the other survivors. I absolutely cannot let them catch me. She gripped the knife tightly, resolving fiercely to herself. Damn it. Even if I can't stab him, I can still stab myself. I won't let him get his hands on my warm body. Absolutely not. Huangshan Shuihao Garden City. The driver's panic shouts echoed as he entered the compound. Boss, it's bad. Boss, we're in trouble. This boss was known as the Orchid King. He took a drag from his cigarette and asked slowly, what's wrong? What happened? Su Di knelt and recounted what had just happened, his voice trembling. Boss, we went to the police station. We never expected to run into another group of survivors. They were hiding in the shadows, secretly watching our every move. Right when we found guns and ammo in the police station, those guys led a horde of zombies over. I told my brothers to get in the car quickly, but there were too many zombies, blocking their path completely. In the end, I had no choice but to drive away and escape on my own. He thought to himself, I can't let the boss know that there was only one opponent and that I was so scared by the zombie horde that I couldn't even wait for them to get in the car before I took off. Wang Dafu frowned, staring at him without saying a word, which made him tremble with fear. His legs shook as he thought to himself, damn it, why isn't the boss saying anything? Is he planning to beat me? I saw him smash dozens of bricks with his bare hands, and he can shatter a cobblestone with a single slap. And then, the boss put out the cigarette he was smoking right on the man's bald head and said, then why didn't you just die there? He tried his best to endure it, holding it in, holding it in, holding it in. I have to hold it in. I absolutely can't let out a scream and annoy the boss. Otherwise, I might just die right here. The underling babbled on, but he was already sweating bullets. Boss, isn't it because I still need to be your driver? Then, as if granting him amnesty, Wang Dafu shouted, get out. Yes. Pardoned, he dashed out of the room like a madman. Yes. Wang Dafu was lost in deep thought, his eyes sharp and cold. Interesting. I've always wanted to clear out the entire Villa district and use it as a main base to constantly expand my territory. But I never expected there to be another group in Huang City, one that even thought of going to the police station for weapons. It seems they're also a formidable figure, capable. I can't let my guard down. The scene changes to the Sunshine residential area. At this moment, Mrs. Xu Guifan was deftly planting some seedlings in a patch of soil. These seeds from Little Fan aren't enough. I'll have to ask the boy to find a way to bring some more back later. Over here, Wang Zhongguo and Zhu Aijun were reinforcing the fence. Old Wang reinforced that side a little more. On another side, Feifei and Mrs. Liang Yan were sitting together, with Feifei's mother behind them. Just then, Feifei asked, "Mrs. Liang, can we learn English?" "My dear child, English isn't useful. We should study math, physics, and chemistry. That's real knowledge." The little girl replied politely. "Oh, okay." Suddenly, a stack of books appeared in front of her, making Feifei's face go pale and her eyes widen in horror. Lin Fan appeared and asked in an excited voice, "Feifei, aren't you happy? Don't get too excited now. Uncle can tell you're a kid who loves to learn. I picked these up for you last night on my way back." The little girl could only remain silent. "Look how happy you are. You're even crying." At this point, the little girl was on the verge of bursting into tears. The young man continued, acting like an excited puppy. "I told you not to get too excited. Sigh. This child is just too eager to learn." Sigh. Suddenly, the baby in his arms started wailing, leaving him panicked and not knowing what to do. Feifei's mother asked Lin Fan, "What's the story with this baby?" "It's a long story. I remember Mrs. Xu used to be a military doctor, so I wanted to ask her to help me check on the baby's current condition." Mrs. Xu then said to quickly bring the baby over for her to see. A moment later, many swollen rashes appeared on the baby's body. Mrs. Xu was using a cotton swab to apply medicine to the baby. Luckily, it was discovered in time. If it were just a little later, this child's life probably couldn't have been saved. But the current situation can't be taken lightly either. A newborn's immune system is weak, and now her bottom is infected. There are also a few other infected spots on her body. She'll need meticulous care to recover. Mrs. Xu turned to ask, "Hey little Fan, what's this child's name?" "She's Meng Meng. I don't know her last name, but in her mother's diary, it only said that the baby's name is Meng Meng." Mrs. Xu then suggested, "Well, since you're the one who saved her, how about we let her take your surname, Lin?" He immediately refused, saying, "There's no need for that. Just call her Meng Meng. Her life was fought for and won by her mother. When she's old enough to understand, I'll tell her these things so she knows she once had a great mother." At this moment, Feifei's mother suggested, "Young brother Lin, you're still young and don't have experience taking care of children. These ladies are already elderly. They won't be able to handle the babies fussing at night. From now on, let me take care of this child. After all, I have experience from raising Feifei all these years." Lin Fan happily accepted. "Yes, thank you, Sister Li. How about this? Please, help me look after her during the day. At night, I can take care of her myself." Just then, someone suddenly shouted frantically, "Little Fan, quick, come here." He was surprised. "Yes, what is it?" "Something's happened." Mr. Zhu explained. "Something's happened. A lot of zombies have appeared on the streets." Hearing this, he was quite surprised and stood frozen, beads of sweat forming on his brow. "What did you say? How could this be?" He thought to himself, "When I came back, I clearly left that horde of zombies far behind. Logically speaking, there's no way they could have followed me back here." As if thinking of something, he broke out in a cold sweat, his mind filled with unease. Could it be that these zombies have evolved intelligence,